Welcome to another episode of Me, My Wife, and Sports. I'm your host, Fitz, with my lovely co-host, Darcy.
Hello.
Well, last time we talked, we were talking about March Madness, our bracketology, and so forth. So while that heats up, we're going to address some more sport topics today from various sports. And what's out there hot now is the draft, or not the draft, but the free agency for NFL football. But before I get into that, I just want to bring up one point that we sort of left hanging last week concerning the selection committee, where Darcy had a question about females being on there. So I'll let her answer that question since we did
the selection committee.
Yes.
You were naming the members of the selection committee, and one was Jamie something, and we were uncertain as to if that was male or female.
Correct.
And we did the research and found out that it was a male. So that meant that there was only one female on the committee.
And that was Jamie Pollard, who was the male who researched.
So,
and the one female
was Renee
Baumgartner. Yes. So
my comments still stand that the selection committee can call me. I am available, and we can work on diversifying the selection committee.
All right.
I can be contacted at memywifeandsports@yahoo.com.
Well, you heard that selection committee, and you will be getting an unbiased committee member. Now, you might not end up getting the teams out because she will hold everything up.
For thorough research. But we'll get it done. Done.
All right.
But we will diversify that committee. That's what's important.
Hey, one of the top sports thing that is happening, and it's coming up soon, the Masters. Mm-hmm. And as I was doing some research online, I came across Scotty Scheffler. I've heard of him, but I never really followed him. And they're basically saying he's the next Tiger Woods. He's just been burning the scene up. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all.
I have heard his name. I think I have seen him play. I can't put a face to the name right now, but the name does sound familiar.
Yeah, and they said that all the sports analysis and all those folks are saying that he finished 65 in the top 10, 65% of his finishings. So that's a good mark.
That is.
To me, anything over 50%, but in that sport to be that consistent is great. And he's held the number one position since last year in 2023 of May of last year.
Interesting.
So it's going to be interesting to see him in the upcoming Masters tournament and see how well he does. But
see if he can really be compared to Tiger.
Right.
Those are big shoes.
Yeah. He's on a roll, they say.
Golf has got a lot going on right now in that they are trying to merge with the PIF, which is the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. And they bring in the LIF, which is their PGA golf.
Right.
And this is causing a lot of controversy in the golf world.
Right.
Trying to merge this PIF with the PGA and bring these two worlds together because of the social responsibility and the social controversy that comes along with things that go on in the country of Saudi Arabia. But this is looking like it's going to happen. There's been a lot of controversy with the talks and the going on behind the scenes. And that's kind of what Phil Mickelson got caught up in when he made a couple of comments, and then he was banned from golfing for a while. And then he refused to golf for a while. And
did not realize that.
All of that was going on. And so, but now he got invited back in, and he's been behaving of sorts, if you will say.
Money to do that.
Tiger has participated in a couple of the negotiations meetings with the PGA Tour and the LIVF and the PIF and the Crown Prince of Saudi and all his representatives. And it's a big thing going on in the golf world.
Well, the Middle East has taken a big interest in sports in general. I know they had, I want to say Formula One or some racing event over in the Middle East. I don't know whether it was Saudi or one of the other countries like Dubai, but they're getting involved a lot in some of the major sports. Well, and we always knew that soccer was big over that
Yeah,
way
soccer
as
was
well.
big.
So now they're just gravitating into other sport ventures.
I think they had one of the World Cups. The last World Cup was in Qatar,
Oh, okay.
if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
FIFA was something to do with FIFA was there.
FIFA.
FIFA,
Okay.
FIFA, yeah. So yeah, that's what's going on in the golf world right now. So yeah,
All right.
interesting. But everybody looks forward to the Masters. It's not as fun if Tiger's not there, but there's got to be someone out there up and coming that will
And
bring the crowds.
and the Scotty Scheffler seems
Yeah.
like he's the guy.
Yeah.
Which, and that's all you want, somebody to bring some excitement to the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, moving to my Cowboys or our Cowboys,
How about the
Dallas
boys?
Cowboys, that is. I was happy to see that Dak Prescott restructured his deal a little bit for this upcoming season to free up about $4 million in cap space. In the scheme of things, it doesn't sound like a great deal, but I'm sure compared to what they already had available, and then that it helps to get some of the pieces. And, you know, a lot of folks are skeptical about the Cowboys because they don't see the frenzy during free agency like they do with other teams. The Cowboys sort of sit back and they actually rely a lot on their draft picks. So, and they don't do a lot of trading and getting rid of players, even though this past free agency, we did drop a few players.
Well, first, let's say congratulations to Dak and his girlfriend on the birth of their daughter, Mary Jane Rose, February 22nd. So now that he has his first baby girl, and maybe that was accomplishment for him that's done, and
Right.
she's here safely and healthy, and maybe now he can focus. Focus, Dak, focus. The family is all complete now, and everybody's here and healthy and happy, and okay, get your head back in the game.
Right.
Yeah, so that's good, and we're all excited for him and the family, and maybe he'll marry her and make her his legal wife. But that's a whole nother episode.
Right.
This is a family show. But
well, he's entering his final year on his 4-year deal.
We were out the other day doing some work in the yard, and one of our Redskin neighbors was harassing us.
You mean Commanders?
I'm sorry.
Redskins.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same thing. Anyway, they were harassing us about Ezekiel, but you know what? That rumor is out there that there is a possibility that there could be talks of Ezekiel coming back to the Cowboys.
Zeke,
yeah.
Yeah, coming back to the Cowboys, maybe to retire. Because, they do that now. They come back
maybe
for that one-day contract.
Maybe that's what it is, but it's out there. It is out there. Like, we thought he was just trying to be funny, but I did go after he said that. I had seen it once before. I think I saw it on Facebook, so I don't pay any attention to anything that I see on Facebook unless it's our Facebook page, so you can always believe what you see there. But any place else, I wasn't really paying attention to it. And then I saw it on something more reputable, and I was like, well, maybe that there is some truth to it. But the Cowboys haven't released their plans yet, and they are saying, the Dallas Cowboy staff is saying that they have a plan for the running back room, but they haven't released it yet, and they are going to release it right now. They are probably trying to figure out the coaching staff because they have promoted Al Harris, who was the special teams coach? Was he special teams or?
Not sure.
But Al Harris has been promoted to assistant head coach.
Oh, wow.
So that's really good. I mean, I'm excited for him.
Yeah, it was some shuffling, especially after Quinn left to coach the Commanders, which is going to be an interesting meeting of the minds when that game happens.
And then Dan Zimmer is coming in as
Oh.
the defensive to take Dan Quinn's.
Oh, I didn't. I like Zimmerman.
Zimmer.
Yeah. Zimmer, I'm sorry. Zimmer.
Dan Zimmer is coming in to take Quinn's place. And then there was talks of one of his Charger linemen. Would it be a lineman? It would be a defensive player. I can't remember the person's name, but one of the Chargers that he coached coming with him.
Oh, hey.
So the Cowboys are making moves.
Right.
You just gotta.
Well, it's not big names.
Yeah, they're not big names.
Like Saquon and all those guys.
Yeah, they're not big names.
So people are...
They're not things that are getting a lot of...
traction.
A lot of traction in the news, but they are making moves. So,
well, sticking with the Cowboys real quick, I would like to say thank you to Leighton Vander Esch, who's retiring from the Cowboys.
Did you say thank you?
Well, not thank you that he's retiring, but thanks for all that he's done for the Cowboys.
Okay.
And he's medically retiring because of issues with his neck.
Yeah, he did have a lot of...
Right. And it started when he was in college. So, and it just happened to carry on in pros and playing that linebacker position where you were running into those running backs.
You looked up how old he was.
Yeah, he is only 26 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
That is very young. And he played 6 years. Yeah, but he played 6 years.
Yeah.
So hopefully he saved his pennies and invested wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll see him in a
different role.
Yeah. Maybe as a coach, assistant coach, special teams, or announcer or something. But thanks for your commitment with the Cowboys. And that's one thing I can say about Jerry. He treats his players well, you know. And again, it's a business. And sometimes players don't want to go. I think, who was it? Terrell Owens or somebody he took out to dinner. And they say, when Jerry takes you out to dinner, you know it's not good.
Right. Or if you get invited to ride back on the jet with him.
Right. But at the end of the day, it's a business. But a lot of those guys that he do employ have longevity with the Cowboys. And they seem to find their way back. Like even when Emmitt Smith ended his career and left, went with the Cardinals, and he came back to retire as a Cowboy, which was only fitting. And I'm sure there's other players out there as well. All right.
Right.
Moving on. What do you think about this situation that happened with Justin Fields and the Bears, the way they handled that whole business?
So what is the situation?
Well, basically, to me, it seemed like the Bears waited to the last minute, but they pretty much traded Justin. Well, let me backtrack. It was my understanding from what I read that Justin Fields, they told him they were going to trade him, but with a stipulation, because there were several teams interested in him, but they allowed him to pick the team he wanted to go to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until I read more into it. And I guess that's softening the blow because, be honest, the Bears did not have the tools in place for a thriving quarterback.
So where is he going?
To Pittsburgh Steelers.
So he's going to the Steelers.
Correct.
He's going to be there with
Russell Wilson.
And he picked the Steelers.
He picked the Steelers because one article I read, and this was Fields talking that he idolized Russell and his game once he joined the NFL. Prior to that, it was another quarterback he was idolizing. And I can't remember offhand who that was. But he wanted to go and learn from Russell. So it's my understanding, based on all the information that I read, that Justin Fields is going to be the backup and possibly become the starter the following year.
I don't know what to think about that. Justin has said, I just want to know what's happening.
Right.
When I think about the season, Justin had a lot of good games. He couldn't do it all himself, even though there were a couple of games where he threw the ball up and ran and caught it. And, I mean, it looked like he was doing everything himself.
Right.
He can't do everything himself. He can't. So if he wanted to go, he wanted to know what was going on. And if they told him, they let him pick his team, and that's where
Correct.
he wanted to be. He kind of got what he wanted. So,
Well, yeah,
at the
he
end
got
of
what he wanted after it was put to him that we're going to trade you one way or
Right.
another for the most part.
Yeah, it's a business.
Exactly.
A lot of people in that situation just get fired.
Right.
And they don't, your boss isn't going to say, where do you want to go work?
But they saw the value in him, so they weren't just going to release him.
Right.
They were going to get something out of it. And I think it was some draft picks down the road that they received.
Yeah.
But, you're going to draft a quarterback, Caleb, more than likely.
Right.
Coming in.
But you know what? Just because you get the first round pick,
right,
there are no guarantees.
Correct.
So Chicago, I hope it works out the way you think it's going to work out. Because if you do wrong by somebody, chances are the universe is going to come back and pay you back for that. So that's what I'm saying. The Eagles, Kenny Pickett from the Steelers got traded to the Eagles.
Right.
So now you're going behind behind Jalen Hurts.
Right.
Will he ever get to play?
Right.
And that's a whole big mess because now Pickett is saying, well, I wanted to leave, and he's all in his feelings about that.
Exactly. He's not realizing, again, it's a business.
Absolutely.
You got to look over that.
San Francisco, they had a big shakeup because somebody in accounting made a couple of errors with the salary cap.
Ooh.
And they lost their draft pick.
Oh, wow.
Because they came in, the numbers were wrong, and they came in not above the salary cap, but very close to it. So as a result, they lost like their fourth draft pick.
Oh, wow.
So instead of their placing,
right.
So instead of being like in a certain round, instead of being 131, I think they dropped to like 135th. So
right.
However that calculation happens, but it all happened because somebody in accounting made an error with the salary cap.
Fired, you're fired.
Yeah, you would
cost me money.
You would think that, so all of these things are, in the grand scheme of things, from the fan point of view, it's entertainment.
Right.
But in the big picture, it's a business.
Yeah.
And
people looking to feed their families and wondering what city I'm going to be in next week.
Exactly. You're talking about people having to pick up and move and find homes and put kids in schools. And for some of these players, it's spouses get jobs because everybody is not that
top line
$62 million player.
right.
Some of these guys are only $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 players. And, that is their salary. That's not after taxes.
Right.
So it's like being in the military. They gotta, it's a whole thing. So yeah, it's, when I think about Justin,
right.
Sitting behind Russell, that's almost like sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. Learn as much as you can.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And I don't think Russell's going to stick around for a long period. Because I
don't know, even know why Russell is playing. Let Denver pay you out, go to the house and play with the new baby.
Well, it's some of these athletes have it in their blood and don't know when to quit, but you can't beat Father Time.
Exactly.
Can't beat him.
Don't put your health and the welfare of your family at risk.
Yeah, who was that?
For your ego.
Yeah, who was that quarterback for? Was it Indianapolis Colts?
Oh, Luck.
Yeah,
Andrew Luck,
who retired because of health issues.
Yeah, like walking out on the field and the fans booed him because it got out.
Yeah,
before he let it out.
But if you know that you don't want to be eating from a
rolled out.
Yeah. And
on a cart, absolutely.
So you have to make those hard decisions and think what's best for you and your family.
Exactly.
So I totally get it.
Josh Dobbs, who was with Minnesota.
Right.
He's going to the 49ers on a 1-year deal, $2.25 million guaranteed and $750,000 in incentives.
How much guaranteed?
$2.25 million.
See, and really, in the scheme of things, that's not much.
It's not much, but $750,000 in incentives.
Yeah.
I mean, throw so many touchdowns.
Well, again, all this is pre-tax.
So that's a total of what, $3 million?
So again, all pre-tax,
Yeah.
and then you got to pay your team. So even though you might come out with a $200,000 paycheck, and most people say, "Woo, that's great,"
Right.
but when your life is sort of up in the air and you don't know if you're gonna be there the whole season,
Right.
and so forth, and I'm sure they write these contracts with loopholes too.
If he's going to the 49ers, he's going to be behind Brock Purdy.
Yes, because I think Purdy is who they're planning on sticking with. And he did well. I like Purdy.
Yeah.
He did well. Hopefully, by going to the Super Bowl and getting all the recognition, he doesn't become a bust this next season.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah,
Proved to be.
You can't say that anymore.
Exactly.
He's relevant.
That should give the
next guy,
the last person in the upcoming draft, a whole lot of hope.
Right.
Yep. Don't worry about being that last draft pick or wherever you're placed.
I tell you though, with all the free agency moves, I tell you, Baltimore got a good gem with Derrick Henry because with
Gus Edwards,
Lamar, and Derrick Henry. Now, at first you worried about Lamar. Now you got to really worry about Derrick Henry.
Yes.
And he can take the load off of him, which opens the passing game up even more. Essentially, you have two running backs because Lamar can run it just as effective.
Right.
So.
Right.
But I tell you, the NFC East, it's going to be a battle this year because even Philly strengthened their squad because I think Saquon Barkley, who the Eagles picked up, I think has a chip on his shoulder.
Who is going to the Giants? Wasn't somebody, didn't they pick up somebody?
I'm not sure who went to the Giants.
Who's going to be their quarterback?
Did they get rid of Jones?
Mac Jones? Daniel Jones?
I think he's still there.
Okay.
I know the Patriots got rid of their quarterback.
Okay, maybe that's those Joneses confused me.
And I'm hoping Kirk Cousins does well at his next location. I tell you, he's got to be the luckiest man. He leaves the Commanders with a big contract to go to the Vikings, who have to match his franchising, which I think he was franchised 2 or 3 times, and then leaves the Vikings and got a pretty decent contract with the Falcons. So he's not hurting for any money at all.
He's a good guy.
He is. He seems level-headed, but it all makes me wonder how these guys are going to bounce back from these injuries because you had a lot of injuries. You did. And you had Aaron Rodgers, who's not a spring chicken, as well as as Cousins. And it's hard to bounce back from those injuries, especially if you're getting hit continuously or running for your life. But it'd be interesting.
So the NFL draft is April 25th in Detroit, Michigan. So we'll be tuning into that. Looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Go Michigan.
The NFL schedule should be coming out shortly thereafter. It usually comes out in conjunction with the draft. And then coming out soon this summer on Netflix. Netflix, you guys really need to call me too, because I've been riding hard for Netflix. I watch not a lot of Netflix, but they do have a couple of good movies. And this summer, they're doing Receivers.
Oh.
So we watched Quarterbacks. They had one.
Have they established which receivers?
Yeah. So they had one called Quarterbacks, and they did. Who was in that one? It was
Kirk Cousins.
Marcus.
Was Jimmy
Marietta. No.
Okay.
Marcus Marietta, Kirk Cousins, Mahomes.
Yeah.
Was it just the 3 of them?
I think it was.
Okay,
yeah.
so the 3 of them. And then the receivers is going to be Devontae Adams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Justin Jefferson.
Definitely.
George Kittle. I thought he was a tight end.
I thought he was too.
Yes.
Unless they're using him on both sides.
Both sides, yes.
Yeah.
But he's going to be there. Debo Samuels.
Oh, Debo.
Debo. That's like Bubba. But Debo Samuels and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Who does he play for?
Detroit.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Those are going to be the 5 receivers that they're going to follow And it'll be a series. I don't know how
Right.
many episodes,
Right.
but that's going to be the Netflix series that is starting this summer. So
That'd be
if
interesting.
any of those are your receivers, tune in to Netflix for
And it might
that.
give you a jump on your fantasy league.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, because just to give you a little context on that, it doesn't just follow them on the field, it follows them off the field. Because I think, if I remember correctly, they were showing a lot of the things with Mahomes at his home.
Yeah, his home life, his family life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was interesting.
I tell you, Green Bay, though, they made a good move getting Josh Jacobs as their running back.
Yeah, that was
Because Love, he's playing pretty good. I think he's going to be a good fit for them. Now, whoever their backup is, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to have to wait a minute. Because one thing I can say about Green Bay, once they get a quarterback, they tend to stick with them.
Absolutely. Jordan Love, I don't know why they wouldn't stay with Jordan Love, though. He did good for them.
Oh, yeah. They're going to stay with him. And now you're giving them, meaning the Packers, a decent running back. Because I think he receives like $12 million a year.
Because where did Aaron Jordan go? Was he a running back?
I'm not sure. Was he the running back for them?
I thought so.
And of course,
Or
as
Aaron
you know,
Jones, maybe that's something.
and as you know, Baker Mayfield signed a deal to remain with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so Aaron Jones was with Green Bay. Now he's with the Vikings. So he must have been a free agent too.
Yeah, definitely.
Cowboy Nation was mad about that. They said we should have got him too.
The one guy that I'm sort of be interested in following is Chase Young, because now he's on his third team.
He's with the Saints.
Right.
Yeah.
And when he was with the Commanders, he had a good rookie season, and I think he got hurt after that and just never really came back strong. And he had a pretty okay showing with San Francisco.
Why do you think he's leaving San Francisco? He only had a year there, right?
Yeah, but he has no choice. San Francisco was done with him.
He was only on a year contract.
Right. And they didn't re-up him, and his numbers weren't huge. He did okay, but for all the hype and the monies, I guess, that he wanted, it wasn't worth it. Because I read an article with him where it sounds like he has a chip on his shoulder, and he's going to basically saying he's going to prove everybody who he really is with the Saints. So, all right. Well, this comes to an end of our episode this go round. A lot of different things happening in sports. Everybody definitely tune in to the Masters. I think it's going to be a good Masters. And it'll be interesting to see how everything else shakes out with the NFL free agency as well as the draft. And of course, March Madness with the bracketology. We will readjust that. We gave you our picks and what we think. And as we move forward and people are dropping out of the tournament by getting beat, we will adjust and come up with an excuse why we picked somebody else and why we changed our mind. No, but we're going to stick with our picks and just see what happens. With that said, Darcy, before I pass it on to you, I just want to remind everybody, if you have questions or anything that you want to, comments you want to provide us or questions, you can reach us at memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. memywifeandsports@yahoo.com. And please go to our webpage and view some of our old episodes if you missed out.
Yes. Take care. Have a good evening. And remember, your mate is a reflection of you.